Supposing the case does not go the way of Nnamdi Kanu, are you foreseeing probably tension in the southeast?
Not just tension, there might not be election in the southeast, and by extension in Nigeria. So that's why.
Why do you think so?
Because people will be disappointed, and when people are fed up, they no longer fear anything again. The worst will be death, and when people no longer fear death, they have reached a limit where they become dangerous human beings, and that is where this judiciary is pushing us to, and that's the reason why the Mr. President needs to halt this.
We're witnessing yet another dramatic turn in one of Nigeria's most politically charged legal battles. Nnamdi Kanu has filed an explosive appeal, asking the Court of Appeal in Abuja to halt his trial entirely. This is not a routine procedural motion. It is a strategic legal missile launched at the heart of the Nigerian justice system. Here's what most viewers haven't been told yet. According to filings made this week, Kanu argues the trial court before Justice James Omotosho lacks jurisdiction, that crucial counts in the prosecution stem from a repealed law, and that his defense was effectively foreclosed before he could present witnesses or cross-examine evidence. Let's unpack this one step at a time, because the implications reach far beyond one man or one courtroom. 1. Jurisdictional tsunami. Kanu's motion states that despite his defense raising challenges to jurisdiction early on, the trial court has proceeded as though those objections were never material. The appeal document contends the trial court's refusal to determine its jurisdiction and the validity of the counts under which the appellant is being tried foreclosed my right to defend the case by fielding witnesses. Leadership news. If a court tries someone under laws that no longer apply, the entire foundation of the case can collapse. Legal analysts argue this isn't just a technicality. This is a doctrine of nullity in Nigerian criminal law. 2. The law in question and the timing. Here's where it gets more obscure but important for foreign observers or investors watching Nigeria's rule of law. The counts Kanu faces allegedly rely in part on the Terrorism Prevention Act 2011 as amended 2013, but that act was repealed by the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. What Kanu's team claims is there was an 8-day vacuum where no valid law applied. The prosecution kept going anyway. If true, that creates precedent for illegal trial procedures. For Nigerian governance, this raises red flags. For foreign stakeholders, it raises questions of legal certainty and investment risk. 3. Defense stalling and document access. Another layer. On 24th October 2025, the defense informed the court that Kanu's former legal team had not transferred his case files to him, hindering his ability to mount a defense. The Guardian Nigeria. Shortly after, the court gave a date to open his defense, but also fixed a 6-day window for that defense phase, signaling the court's unwillingness to tolerate further delay. For watchers abroad, the idea that an accused might not even have his full case file to defend himself hints at outcomes that may attract rights-based scrutiny. 4. What November 20th means. The trial court has scheduled judgment for the 20th of November 2025. Kanu's appeal to the Court of Appeal is explicitly asking for a stay of proceedings so the November 20th date does not hold. If the stay is granted, the judgment could be blocked or postponed, potentially shifting how Nigeria handles high-profile trials. 5. Why this matters to Nigeria today. For Nigerians, if a high-profile case like this is seen as unfair, it can erode trust in the judiciary, fuel separatist sentiments in the southeast, and affect national cohesion. For foreign and diaspora audiences, Nigeria markets itself as a stable democracy, investment destination, and regional power. Legal controversies like this undermine that narrative and raise questions about rule of law volatility. 6. What most media haven't highlighted yet. The international dimension. Kanu holds British citizenship. His case has drawn diplomatic commentary from the UK and other foreign offices. The Guardian. The risk of precedent setting. If his motion succeeds, other defendants may leverage the same argument about repealed laws and jurisdictional defects, opening a floodgate. The corporate and financial risk. If Nigeria is seen as having legal uncertainty, this might increase country risk for foreign direct investment, particularly in extractive, infrastructure, or financial sectors. Possible political ramifications. The government has tied Kanu's case to its anti-secession narrative. A perceived failure could embolden other agitations or undermine the unity thesis. 7. What should you watch next? Will the Court of Appeal grant the stay? If yes, what does that do to the November 20th date? Will the trial court proceed despite the stay motion, or will everything pause? Will the prosecution shift strategy, amend counts, or respond publicly to the jurisdiction challenge? Will media and civil society raise the right dimension internationally? Will foreign governments comment? Will the ruling spark unrest in the southeast, especially if perceived as unfair? This is far from just another court case. It's a litmus test for Nigeria's justice system, for federal authority, and for how the country presents itself on the world stage. Thanks for watching this update. Keep the links below in your description for full transparency and further reading. Stay informed. Stay sharp.
The Fulanis, the Hausas, the Kanuris there are all loyal to him. You'll be shocked that he has more supporters in the DSS facility than he has outside, because if anywhere you live and you have more than 95% of the people who are supporting you. Before I met him, a Fulani guy told me, because he said, oh, if you see Nnamdi Kanu, he will like you because you can speak English. The guy does not understand English. We're always communicating in Hausa language and in Arabic language. So he said, he will like you because you can speak English, and he's a good man. If you have any problem, tell him, he will help you. So that is how they see Nnamdi Kanu. Or everybody in that detention facility, they see him as their leader. So it's not about a leader agitating for the Igbo cause. He's a leader agitating for Nigerians, for the betterment of Nigerians. So that is the person Nnamdi Kanu is. So I have discussed with him severally. On a daily basis, he will tell me, Atif will be strong. And along the line, now told me that, okay, I want you to play along so that they release you from here. I don't want you to continue to stay in detention. That was when I said, I'm ready to remain in detention. I said, no, this place is not good for you. Play along. Do whatever they want you to do. Get away from here and go and meet your family. I said, you are here. Say, don't worry. You go out. I don't want to see young men like you to be in detention. So that is the person we are talking about, that Nnamdi Kanu is. A very passionate leader with compassion, and he has the interest of especially the masses at heart. And I think the problem he has, which is not a problem, is that he's too courageous and fearless. And that is why, to me, he is still in detention. Courageous and fearless.
Right, let's look at the issue of the government and Nnamdi Kanu. Some persons say that the government is using Nnamdi Kanu as a scapegoat to avoid addressing legitimate grievances. They argue that Showere, Igboho, the chairman of Meiti Allah, all of them had issues at one time or the other. But government discontinued with that case and wondered, why is Nnamdi Kanu's case different?
Yes, I agree with those who say that. And but I also want to say that this did not start with the administration of President Tinubu. He was arrested during the last administration, and because they don't want to address the real issues. This thing is very simple. Why?
What do you think are the real issues?
The real issues are the insecurity, marginalization, and inequality in the country. These are basically the real issues. Address these issues. On this? Because I believe that President Tinubu is a listening president. Yes. And just like I said about Nnamdi Kanu being fearless and courageous, which has put him in detention, one of the things that, though is not something that should be seen as a weakness, which the President Tinubu has, is that he's too loyal to his friends. And he always stands by his friends. So he will not want to do anything that will embarrass his predecessor. So for that reason, he's taking his time. But on this, I really want to appeal to the President and Commander-in-Chief that if the likes of Igboho, their cases will be discontinued. The chairman of Mieti Allah, their cases, Mieti Allah was arrested and detained in the same facility where Nnamdi Kanu was detained. I was there, so I know all of these things. For security reasons, I won't mention the places. I know they are if you close my eyes, I can take you to the detention facility where Nnamdi Kanu is currently, and where Mieti Allah chairman was before he was released. Don't forget, he was arrested. His boys were alleged to have stabbed a general. You see, his boys were alleged to have killed soldiers. I know all lives are equal, but the life of a military man should be seen as being special because they protect the lives of the of others. If any group that will attack military men, those groups should be seen as being extremely violent, and they should be condemned in totality. The military men deserve respect and honor because they are putting their lives to protect us. So now, this same man, his case was discontinued. A Fulani man, his case was discontinued. Yes, he's my brother. I'm happy the case was discontinued, but I'm not happy that military men were attacked. Now, Igboho, who was agitating his agitation was very violent. So many lives were lost. Security personnel were attacked. Yet his case was discontinued because he's a Yoruba man.